This is a presentation for CS230 Project One Professional Growth. The meeting that I attended was called Introduction to Machine Learning. It was a 2-hour online workshop presented by Galvanize. Galvanize is a group that offers courses and workshops in the areas of programming and data science for both students and professionals. They describe themselves as a technology ecosystem for learners, entrepreneurs, startups, and established companies that meets the needs of the rapidly changing digital world. As stated on their website, they do this by transforming individuals and teams through effective education, delivering exceptional outcomes, and coalescing and nurturing a community of innovators. More information can be found on their website, galvanize.com. The presenter was Sage Elliott. He has a computer science degree from Eastern Florida State College. He has also studied and earned various certifications in web development, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. He has worked as a front-end web developer and a software engineer. He worked for Galvanize as a workshop designer and presenter. He currently works in artificial intelligence for a company called SixGill, while still presenting workshops on machine learning and computer vision. The workshop began with an introduction to what machine learning is. 2 models of machine learning were introduced and discussed. These were classification and regression. And then we worked through an example of how to build these models using Python. There was time at the end of the workshop for questions and discussion. Machine learning is a branch of artificial intelligence. It is the study of algorithms that improve automatically through experience. Using sample data, these algorithms can be trained to find patterns and features in order to make decisions and predictions based on new data. As more data is processed, the decisions and predictions become more accurate. This happens without the need to explicitly program it to do so. The first type of model that was discussed was the classification model. Classification is a supervised learning model, meaning that the algorithm takes a data set as input and outputs predictions based on that data. Classification models have discrete outputs. A model that uses logistic regression would be an example of a classification model. The other type of model that was discussed was the regression model. This is also a supervised learning model. Regression models are different to classification models in that they have continuous output. A model that uses linear regression would be an example of a regression model. The example models were built using Python. The input data was a set of flower attributes for 3 different types of flower. The attributes were color and size. The models predicted the type of a flower based on these attributes. We went through an example using a classification model and then an example using a regression model. Here are some example uses for machine learning. It can be used to give product recommendations based on past purchases or search history, or to give show or movie recommendations. It can be used for spam filtering or content filtering. It can be used to train algorithms to recognize images or objects, which makes it useful for facial recognition programs or self-driving cars. The meetup was a positive experience. It was a good introduction to machine learning. I thought the presentation was good, and I would consider attending another meeting. I attended an IEEE meeting in August. This was the first meeting this semester. The meeting began with introductions from the officers. The members then discussed what types of events they wanted to hold, such as resume workshops or interview workshops. They talked about how best to communicate and discussed their new Discord layout. They mentioned a student competition called the Hackathon and discussed a little bit about what that was. and they talked about club merchandise. These are screenshots from Stack Overflow. The question is about the difference between syntax and semantics. This is something that we are discussing in my programming language concepts class. This is a screenshot of my GitHub account. GitHub is an online resource that allows you to create projects and work on them with others over the internet.